Yeah, and I think also I think that's one failing of technology is I imagine this would have been through the '80s when and I should say probably '90s, late '80s, early '90s when individuals would take on a lot more of the managerial tasks using that simplifier called technology, and then that eliminated layers of people that actually were a part of the whole decision making process. I find that might, or I should ask you, is that hold true in your mind, or is that a fallacy?
Read Principle
No,
21.
I think um, I think it's partially true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my point, I guess, was simply to say, I think I think that there are sort of macro drivers that have moved many corporate marketing departments away from those things in the old way of marketing that should be carried forward in the new world. I mean, some of the other changes, if you guys want to sort of continue down this path, one of the old ways of marketing was the forced separation of marketing and communications. They were, traditionally siloed disciplines, and in many cases still siloed today.
Mm.
Well, there are two or three principles within the book that ultimately have to do with, reputational management. And I use British Petroleum and Goldman Sachs and Johnson and Johnson and Dell and HP as sort of some of the examples and the anecdotes that I share with in the book. Well, it is in today's world, which is fundamentally a 24/7 world, where information is not only available 24/7, but is available immediately. Mm-hmm. The absence of astute brand management working with those people who specialize in reputational management is remarkably disjointed. And so, oftentimes when I am asked by boards and chairmen or CEOs of companies about what the optimum structure is, at least from my perspective, I am absolutely rigorous in what I believe is the necessity for marketing and communications, and increasingly the information-oriented departments to roll up to one individual within a company. Because it's only when it does that, and where people are required to work off the same brand essence, the same value proposition, the same set of key messaging, where you begin to optimize the effectiveness of how you communicate and have your brand translated to your various audiences.
So what is, we're at the top of the hour here, so one last thing here.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions? I think someone had come in. Or...
Some of the questions came through, and you actually addressed some of them, but we'll wrap up and we'll see how.
I was going to say, what is the, there's a lot of changes. What's the opportunity? What do you see as kind of the prime opportunity out there right now that marketers can grasp onto? What's the number one thing that people could take away from this?
That's a great question, and I actually want to give you not that this entire conversation.
No. Don't worry. All the rest of the questions are really bad. I just did the last one. We always make the best one. I'm joking, Tim.
If I was to tell somebody in a marketing department today, and let's say this is to someone who is in some type of marketing leadership role, what would I advise them? Okay, and this may sound counterintuitive. I would say that if they are not prepared to fully embrace accountability for financial performance, that they should begin to look for a new job. That it will be accountability and the ability to, in a increasingly global, highly competitive marketplace, their ability to show that they can grow revenues and profitable sales. If they're not up for that sort of type of exposure to senior management, they will never be a senior management within that. They will never become a senior manager within that firm, regardless of its size. Sort of tangential to that, but similar, I would say, do things for the right reason. The right reason to spend money in social media is not so that you can tell your friends and your associates and your marketing people that you know at other firms that you're doing something on Twitter or Facebook or whatever the platform is. I am astonished, embarrassed for the profession of marketing when I am told time and time again by people that they don't really have a reason for doing something as it relates to generating profitable sales, that they're doing it because everybody else is doing it.
Yep.
And they're doing it for the wrong reasons then.
Absolutely. Doing something without a reason or a purpose is
yeah.
I mean, and it's so funny because I come from a world of sales, right? I was held accountable for numbers every year. And any when I got higher up in organizations, I was obviously accountable for my spend as well, obviously. So it's
right.
I find it, when you were talking earlier, astonishing that such a high number of potential Fortune 1000s that don't really hold their marketing department accountable. So I mean, it's a fundamental change is what I'm seeing right now. Is that brought on by probably the last few years and the havoc that was wreaked in the economy. Is now you are going to be held accountable for. We're going to give you $1. What are you going to give us back for that from the marketing side? Because I think about it this way: if you go into an operations department, and I'll use oil and gas up here because we're familiar with that. If I go into a drilling department, they better show me that drill is going to actually pay off and get some money back for them. It's absolutely baffling that marketing departments are not held accountable for that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the good news. The good news in all this is the technologies that have come to the market to date and those that will come to the market in the future. And all you have to do is, look at technology updates every day relative to the new things that are being created. For somebody who is prepared to be held accountable, who is prepared to do the hard work of understanding how to improve ROI and their return on investment for their company as a marketer, will have nothing but opportunity and nothing but increasing demand for their capabilities in coming years.
Mm-hmm. So everyone better get off their duff and figure out how they can show the ROI that I guess that's out there.
If they can't, in the competitive global world that we live in today, they will be moved aside or moved out, even worse, and will not become the leaders that they aspire to be.
Yeah,
aspire to be, and that they should be within an organization.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, exactly. Tim, I'm going to hold your book up one more time so that people can see it. It's The Old Rules of Marketing Are Dead and the 6 New Rules, which people obviously go out and get the book. It's really good. Good read. Lots of information in here. And Tim, once again, your company, people can find you at pearsonadvisorsandpartners.com. And is there a way for them to contact you via email on the site or anything like that?
Yes, there is.
Okay, and we'll also probably have the link through off the broadcast.
Yeah, we'll be sending any questions your way
exactly.
automatically, and you'll get it. Your team will get those questions whether they go direct to you or not. I'll let you decide, and that's great. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for watching this broadcast today with Tim Pearson. The Old Rules of Marketing.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much for your time.